Hey, what's up, guys? It is Jarrett from AFC North Talk here to talk a little bit about the Steelers and the Cowboys this weekend. Sunday Night Football, where the Steelers are historically pretty good. Um, the thing that has stuck out when looking at both sides of this game is how big a factor the run game could be for Dallas stopping the outside run, which they've been very bad at doing this season, and for the Steelers being able to establish an efficient run game, which they've been very bad at doing this season. The Steelers are 10th in the NFL in rushing yards per game, but they are 26th in success rate when it comes to running the ball. So their rushing yards have been more of a volume stat than anything. They run the ball a lot, so therefore they're going to have more rushing yards than the average team, but they're averaging less than 4 yards a carry. They're facing a Cowboys team that's not going to have DeMarcus Lawrence. They aren't going to have Micah Parsons. That plays very much into the Steelers' hands. Dallas, as well, as averaging the fourth most rushing yards to quarterbacks. Let's lean into Justin Fields a little bit more this weekend for Pittsburgh. The Steelers shouldn't have been outclassed by the Colts. You saw us talk about that on the show ahead of week 4, where I said, look, they should win, but I'm not going to be surprised if they don't. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened, where a lot of it was them shooting themselves in the foot, getting down early. The defense didn't play well, couldn't get off the field on third downs. And we saw how that worked out. The offense came alive in the second half. Justin Fields played really well. Became the first Steelers quarterback since Cordell Stewart in 2001 to have 300 yards passing and 55 yards rushing. Led them on 3 consecutive touchdown drives. The Steelers' offense is much more efficient than it was, with Kenny Pickett and Matt Canada. Justin Fields is better than what Kenny Pickett was. Right now, fun fact, Justin Fields has a higher EPA per play than Patrick Mahomes and CJ Stroud. So he is playing very well right now. And I think, take it with a grain of salt because that's what I do when it comes to PFF grades. But right now, he's the 6th highest ranked quarterback according to PFF. I don't take that stuff as, gospel, but some people look at it in a different regard than others. So if you are somebody that does pay attention to the PFF grades, maybe that is of interest to you. So I've been impressed with what I've seen from Fields. And when it comes to the Steelers offense, the thing that I haven't been impressed with has been their ability to run the ball, and the numbers kind of back that up. If there is a game where they can get their run game going, it is against Dallas, who is awful at stopping the run. We talked about the success that teams have had running outside, where it's off tackle runs or just outside runs in general. Arthur Smith's whole thing is he builds his offense off the outside zone run game. Lean into that. This needs to be a Najee Harris game because he had 19 yards last week. Better have some sort of bounce back this week. So this needs to be where we see Arthur Smith and the Steelers really just lean into what Arthur Smith has done well in his career, and that's run the ball to the outside. I'm getting the numbers pulled up for the Cowboys' run defense as of right now from an EPA standpoint. So in rush success rate defensively, they are 26th. In rush EPA defensively, they are dead last in the NFL. So you're not going to find, efficiently speaking, a worse run defense than the Dallas Cowboys right now. You are not going to find many run defenses that are worse at stopping runs to the outside. This should play into the Steelers' hands. Lean into the outside zone run game. Let Justin Fields run the ball. Have some more design runs for him. We know what he's capable of. The Steelers just haven't asked him to do that. Yeah, he's got 3 rushing scores, but they're all from inside the 10-yard line. It's not like we've seen that vintage Justin Fields run yet, which is good. They haven't had to. He's been really good with his arm, and that is a very positive step. But, in a situation like this, where the Cowboys aren't good at stopping the quarterback from taking off and running, you've got one of the best at doing that in the game. Use it. That doesn't mean it has to be your entire game plan, but you can draw up a handful of quarterback runs for Justin Fields. Use the information at hand and play with what you have to your advantage. And right now, the Steelers have the advantage of having Justin Fields, who can run the ball. They have an offensive line that looks like they are getting Isaac Small back this week. He didn't have a game designation, so he's good to go. So the run game should be better by default with him on the left side rather than it being Spencer Anderson or Mason McCormick. Mason McCormick's going to be on the right side now because James Daniels is gone for the year with a torn Achilles. But even then, McCormick's played well. Zach Frazier's played extremely well. It'll come down to can Dan Moore and Broderick Jones open up opportunities to run outside. And even if they can't, then lean on just focusing on those inside zone runs with Samalo and Frazier, and McCormick and Frazier. Because even if you can't get anything to the outside going, the Cowboys are dead last in EPA defensively stopping the run, so you should be able to have some success regardless. But one way or the other, I think DB from Steelers Now had said it, one of these teams is ending the night very unhappy about what either their run offense looks like for Pittsburgh or the run defense for Dallas. But not having DeMarcus Lawrence or Micah Parsons really helps out the Steelers. I mean, that's two of the Cowboys' best defenders, if not their two best defenders. This is a game that Pittsburgh should bounce back and win, get to 4-1, and stick to having a nice firm grasp on the AFC North lead. And this is the first of 3 primetime games in a 4-week stretch for the Steelers. They'll play the Raiders the week after this, and then they got both New York teams back-to-back weeks. They'll play the Jets on Sunday Night Football, the Giants on Monday Night Football, and then go into their bye week in Week 9. So a nice handful of national audience games. They're going to see a lot of the Steelers here in the next month or so, meaning that more opinions are going to be formed about Pittsburgh by a lot of people who may not have seen as much of them as you and I have. But a win against Dallas to get to 4-1, which would take you into a very winnable game against Vegas. That's a game that you got to win. I do want to make sure it is Vegas that they do play next. I'm pretty sure it is. I just want to clarify so I'm not leading y'all astray. So, yeah, they'll host Dallas, travel to Vegas, and then have consecutive home games in primetime. The Jets on Sunday night, the Giants on Monday night, then have a bye week. So, realistically, I mean, even if the Steelers go 3-1 in this stretch, you go into your bye week 6-2, it's a damn good spot to be in. So hopefully that's where we see them at. Even if they split these next 4 and go into the bye week 5-3, I mean, I'm pretty comfortable with that. That being said, they should beat a Raiders team that's not very good. They have had, historically haven't been very good against the Raiders in the Mike Tomlin era. We'll see if that continues. The Jets, we'll see. It's going to be a tough defense. They should beat the Giants. So we'll see what happens. But if they can go into the bye week 5-3, if they can go in there 6-2, I'm feeling really good. But it starts with beating Dallas on Sunday night. And we will be back as a collective channel on Wednesday to talk about all of it. So make sure you guys like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and join us Wednesdays and Fridays on AFC North Talk with me, Sonny, Ace, and Q. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you very soon.